Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're actually going to be testing out Mount Fuji bread, as well as some side cakes that are also shaped like Mount Fuji. Heading to a little mall called Top City. It's actually one of the largest, sorry, not little, but it's one of the largest malls over here in the city of Taichung, Taiwan. And at this place, I'm actually going to pick up that Fuji looking bread that I saw some time ago. And it looked pretty interesting. That's what I'm going to try today. In Top City Mall, the B2 level has a lot of the specialty stores, which actually includes Din Tai Fung, which is world famous for its dumplings, but they also sell specialty products from around the world, ranging from shokupan, cakes, various types of bread, etc. Din Tai Fung, as usual, has a huge line in the back, including like these stores. So it's at this place, this store, where people are lined up, where everything is kind of like in a Fuji mountain style. This entire store that I found and what they sell is based upon the idea of Mount Fuji, ingredients from the Mount Fuji area, as well as the background that this was a Taiwanese guy who basically went to Japan and wanted to try out making pastries. So he spent time learning pastries in Japan and he took it back to Taiwan and opened up this shop. This shop has only opened up for 2 months in the city of Taichung, where I am at right now. One contains a bread that I bought, and another one is some mini cakes that they have at this store. So this is the first bag. This bag right here is the bread. So let me take this out. And what this is you'll notice from the side that it's kind of a, not exactly accurate, but it gives the sense that it is designed like a mountain, like Mount Fuji. And so this entire structure of this, actually it's a shokupan variant of bread, and let me show the top of it. So it looks like this from the top. Now I actually don't know what flavor this is, this bread. It's green, so I'm gonna assume that it's probably green tea flavored, matcha flavored. So I've always been a lover of, just in general, Japanese culture. I've grown up with Japanese culture, coming from a background where, you know, both of my grandmothers as well as grandfathers were fluent in Japanese, largely because they've had significant amounts of influence from Japanese people occupying Taiwan, where they used to live. So right here we have the cakes that they're actually known for initially. They come in different flavors. So I'm guessing this is probably chocolate. I'm not sure what the blue one is. Blueberry maybe? Maybe this is sesame, probably green tea, some sort of orange or strawberry. So that's my guess, but we'll find out once we try it out. If you've ever seen the anime Yakitate Japan, it's an anime about bread making. And so ever since I've seen that anime, I've become a little bit obsessed with bread and pastries, because the thing about pastries in Japan, or generally Asia, is that they tend to be a little bit more moist and chewy, have a lot more chew feel to it than, say, Western type bread from, say, Europe, France, places like America, where you typically buy these loaves of bread, whether they kind of be prepackaged, the cheap ones, which is like the Wonder Breads of the world, which are, you know, a lot of chemicals in that, or something a little bit more artisan. You go to your Whole Foods and you pick up like a whole French bowl bread, or you get some sort of Italian rustic bread, some rosemary sourdough, and those tend to be a little bit more dry. And with those type of breads, when you cut into them, eating them raw out of the cut is actually not that great. But when you actually toast them, that's when they actually start to come alive. That's a little bit of a difference between that and, say, Asian breads and pastries that I typically find. It's like you typically can eat them straight out after they're baked, but when you do toast them, it brings them to another level.
A few moments later.
Once I cut into this bread, I thought it was actually gonna be green inside because it's like this. But then when I cut in, it's like a beautiful, beautiful blue. It's like unbelievable blue. Can you see that? I don't know how to explain it. It's like the ocean right inside of it. After I toasted it, it created this wonderful crisp brown on top of the blue. And I was just shocked by how pretty it is. It's unbelievable. It felt like it was slightly burnt with some green texture on it, but then it became this. It's like unbelievable. Wow, look at that. So I'm gonna actually try out this bread and see how it tastes, and let's see what happens. This is shokupan, all right. Nice chew feel. Outside crisp, inside this QQ feeling. Like if you can see that. Inside you can see the color still permeate throughout the whole bread. And it's this wonderful, wonderful feeling. Still moist, plus when it was toasted inside the balmuda, it still retains the moisture because I would put the water, so it basically steam toasts it. Unbelievable. That's it for this bread. I'm gonna actually move on to the next one. Since the bread was also green, maybe I'll try with the green one first. Maybe it actually does taste like green tea. Let's give it a shot. And that's Mount Fuji right there. So, okay, it does have a little bit of the matcha flavor, distinguished from top and bottom. So the bottom part is more green tea. This is more like a regular cake. This type of cake, I think, is more suited towards having with tea. This is the type of cake that is a little bit more dry. That's why I think you need some moisture to go along with it. I think by itself, it's not good enough to be a snack for me that I would just kind of pick out and choose, because it'd obviously make my mouth dry. It kind of gets clogged up in the back of my throat. It has a nice sponginess to it. It's a little bit like sponge cake, a little bit thicker and denser. And then once you start biting into it, and then it starts becoming a little bit more fluid in your mouth. It reminds me a little bit from the outside like pineapple cake. I need some water because it is too much. I just had a little bit of water that actually helped a lot. So would I recommend something like this? I probably wouldn't recommend it for something like on a daily basis. The shokupan, yes, I would recommend that if you wanted to have something kind of fun and fanciful while you're having breakfast. It has a rougher texture when you're putting it into your mouth and biting into it. But yeah, this is definitely good with tea. It needs a degree of moisture that is outside of itself. A little bit underwhelming. I thought it would be something a little bit more gelatinous or something a little bit more on its own, but it isn't. So I would say that yes, if you were having these cakes with tea, then it'd be fine. We're done with our Fuji mountain eating. It was an enjoyable experience, especially the bread, because I found it to be visually quite stimulating once you opened it up, and it actually quite shocks you by the color that you get from the blue. Thanks for stopping by. If you'd like more videos about my fine adventures, then please subscribe and like and hit the bell button. It'd be a great help for me as I build this channel.